we'll have that.
And Wizard World is in Cleveland. That means big crowds at the convention center. So we sent Mike Polk out to find some alternatives to the Handshake. Also, today, International Dress Day. So, of course, we're going to focus on dresses in our Fashion Friday segment.
Also, don't think because we're not buying records that the music industry isn't thriving. Oh, it is alive and well, and we're going to talk about that. What's new starts now.
And now, live from WKYC Studios, this is What's New with Betsy Kling and Jay Crawford.
And we start by saying happy Friday, Northeast Ohio. It has finally arrived. The weekend is on deck, and I hope you have great and fun plans. With that, I say welcome. With Betsy Kling, I'm Jay Crawford. Here's what's new at 5 o'clock.
Of course, we're going to start with the coronavirus. The numbers continue to climb slowly here in the United States. Here are the top 3 things you need to know about the coronavirus today. The total number of cases in the U.S. is now up to 272. 93 new cases have been reported just in the last 24 hours. Indiana and Pennsylvania have now reported their first confirmed cases. At least 14 have died from COVID-19. Here in the U.S. and globally, the number of cases worldwide is over 100,000, with 80% of those being in China. A bit of good news to report. It does appear that the spread of the virus in China appears to be slowing.
And that is good news, and we haven't had much good news, really, since this story broke a couple of weeks ago. Mark Namick is here now. Mark, there's been a change in how Ohio actually tests patients. What can you tell us about that?
Yeah, we've been sending the possible cases to the Center for Disease Control, which has one of the national labs. But now we have a test kit now with the ability to test around 300 to 400 possible cases. And that's going to help really speed things up. We used to have to wait for shipping and the backlog. Now the state says we might be able to do the test complete in 2 days.
Okay, so here in the state of Ohio, the latest update that we got today from the Ohio Department of Health, 8 negative tests of people for COVID-19, but there are 2 that are still pending. So
those are probably already at the lab.
Right.
We will start probably Monday. They kind of have to calibrate the test and get it ready.
So who needs to go get these tests? What do you do if you feel like you've got symptoms?
First of all, stay isolated, stay home. Call your doctor. And visit an ER if you have to. And there's a protocol in place at the hospitals already. They do collect samples and have been sending those already to the CDC.
Okay.
The president signed the bill which pumps more than $8 billion into this problem. One of the things that is a concern for people, particularly people that are either uninsured or they feel they may not be able to afford the cost of the test. What about these people?
Great question. And the lawmakers are encouraging people to get tested. And they want to say, you know what, maybe we'll pay for it. So there is a call to use some of that money to do it. New York State, which now has multiple cases, 33 is pushing for that. I think you'll see that here. It doesn't mean everybody can walk in and get a free test, but we may get there. With 28 million uninsured people, you don't want people not being tested.
Right.
No, exactly. The big news here is that at least here in Ohio, the results we'll know the results much sooner. You don't have to mail them out beginning Monday at least.
Yeah, and that's going to make a big difference. And we will get help down the road from local hospitals. They can, if they're certified to meet federal guidelines, they'll begin to be able to test themselves, make the test results right there.
It'll be interesting to see if next week we have a confirmed case here in Ohio, as all this is beginning to speed up.
As we said yesterday, it's beginning to still creep into Ohio.
And well, the expectation is as more people get tested, those numbers certainly will rise. Keep in mind, Ohio is one of 29 states that, at least as of now, does not have a positive case of coronavirus. Mark, thanks.
Thank you.
We appreciate it.
Interesting.
Russ Mitchell monitoring other top headlines. He joins us now from the news desk. Happy Friday, Russ.
Happy Friday, Jay. Happy Friday, Betsy, and good afternoon, everybody. An arrest is made after a 9-year-old girl was hit getting off a school bus in Cleveland. 19-year-old Luis Rodriguez was arrested and charged with aggravated vehicular assault. The child, a Cleveland school student, was getting off the bus near the intersection of West 73rd and Dearborn last month. Her injuries, fortunately, were not serious. Fresh produce may be aboard the rocket that eventually takes astronauts to Mars. Astronauts are growing red lettuce on the International Space Station in what is called a veggie chamber. That's a plant growth device inside the ISS. Fresh produce is delivered to astronauts on shorter trips via cargo rockets, but astronauts going on longer trips, such as the one to Mars at some point, have never had such a luxury. And going bald for a good cause. Dozens shaved their heads for cancer research this morning at Rainbow Babies and Children's Hospital. The St. Baldrick's Foundation event and others this March raise money for critical childhood cancer treatments for infants, kids, and young adults. And those are your headlines at 5 o'clock, and we'll see you both at 5:30.
All right, Russ, that is a good cause. Thank you very much. We'll see you soon. Okay, now on to our feed at 5. First up there, can't find hand sanitizer in stores. Believe me, you are not alone, but we here at What's New have found a little workaround. You have to be crafty, you have to be creative, but I think we have you covered.
It's a little bit of chemistry that we have going on here. You need a little travel bottle. We like the ones with the pump especially, but for time's sake, we just found these. You need aloe vera gel, which you can find anywhere. This is from Walgreens. We just picked it up. And then rubbing alcohol. Well, this is the 70% isopropyl rubbing alcohol.
Right.
You can get it all the way up to 90+%.
And that's the recommended.
High test.
Yeah,
Go as high test as you can.
Yeah.
This is how easy this is. You uncap, you squirt, and you pour. That's it. So there's our aloe vera gel. Well, I think we do 50-50, right? Yep. There it is. And then, of course, this still has the seal on it.
So you're going to have to take it offline.
Here we go.
Well done,
all right.
Bets.
I actually love the smell of rubbing alcohol. It's a weird thing, but
yeah, I think it smells good too. It smells clean.
there you go. I'm going to juice it up with extra rubbing alcohol because I like it. We're going to cap it and shake.
And there you go. There's your hand sanitizer.
For the proper thing, it's 2 parts alcohol, 1 part aloe vera.
Right. The more, obviously, the more you put in with alcohol, the more you dilute it.
Doesn't that look like hand sanitizer?
It really does.
Now, keep in mind, with the 2 parts liquid, it's going to be a lot runnier than your usual hand sanitizer.
Yep.
But you just pop your cap. Now you can go, and you can make a lot of this at one time, fill up the family. Rub, rub, rub. Don't
How does it smell?
drip.
Does it smell like the regular?
It smells like
Purell?
rubbing alcohol. I'm in my happy place. It's so clean.
It does smell good. So here's the deal. We got all of these supplies for $10.
Yeah, I would say that might be a little extreme. The aloe vera gel is probably where your expense is going to be.
It was, but we spent 10 on everything that you see here.
With the bottles, too?
Yeah, everything. And now, obviously, it probably won't make as much as you could buy Purell for $10. But look, if you can't find it on the store shelves, and a lot of people are telling us that they're having a very hard time finding it,
right?
You can make it just that simple.
Just that simple.
And you have your own ready-made hand sanitizer.
And we have people who have said they can't find the wipes someplace, too. You can make a bleach solution with some water. Just make sure you wipe it off afterward, but, you know, wet stuff down and do it that way. So.
If you weren't taking notes as Betsy was making her concoction, it's okay. It's on our website, which is wkyc.com/what's new.
We have our own webpage on the website, everybody.
How about
We're
that?
actually very excited about that.
All right. So,
yes,
we now have hand sanitizer. We can move on to our next topic.
We are making sweet music, Jay.
Yes,
That's what we're doing. Many in the music industry have been concerned, you probably have heard about this, that the internet is bankrupting the music business. Well, now the Recording Industry Association of America, the recording industry's big overseeing group, they just reported a 4th consecutive year of double-digit revenue growth.
Which is unheard of today.
Unheard of. The industry made more than $11 billion last year. And get this, 80% of that is from streaming.
Of course.
It's from the internet, the very thing that was supposed to be their demise. You think of Spotify and Apple Music and Pandora. It took a while, but the music industry is finally committed to going digital, and now it's paying off for them.
So I'm fascinated by this because they were once fearful of this technology because the music was so easily shared and you could download it for free. Now they've actually turned it into something that has been a huge financial boon for them. So think about it. Just about everybody I know pays a monthly fee. So we're all buying music monthly.
Right.
That was never the case in the music industry. And I'm fascinated by this too. So the newspaper industry, which was kind of asleep at the wheel for a very long time and refused to embrace that internet technology, they were slow to come on board, and it's decimated the newspaper industry. Here's an example of how at first the recording industry said, no, we don't want this, and then they opened it up. They found ways to make money off of their music, and it's very profitable again.
It is. And I mean, you know, everybody loves their music. Just remember, if you're going to share something, or if you were making a video and you're putting somebody else's music on there.
Be careful.
Yeah, that's kind of this whole pirating thing, and you don't want to get into that.
No, they've got a lot of lawyers. Next up on your feed at 5, we found this video on Facebook that went viral. This is a mom who saw how much her kids love their favorite characters. You see Paw Patrol yogurt, you see Disney waffles,
Right.
so why not spread the love?
So that's a spaghetti squash with Winnie the Pooh, and you wouldn't normally see that, but this lady, she decided to start putting stickers on the produce at the store and then made it into an adventure for her kids. Now the kids are excited, and as I mentioned, there's the spaghetti squash with Winnie the Pooh, Toy Story broccoli.
Yeah.
So you just purchase the stickers, and as you're going around, stick it on there, and boom. Now
It's a real
everybody's
study
happy. Yeah.
how kids will gravitate to anything that is cartoon related or whatever their favorite superhero is, whatever it is. I remember when my son was about 5 years old, he wouldn't eat pasta for anything.
Pasta.
I know, right? I mean, it's a staple. He wouldn't touch the stuff. So we were at a restaurant, and my dad told him, Corey, I don't know if you know this, but Michael Jordan eats pasta every day. He's, of course, making this up. And that's why he can jump so high and jump so far. And my son sat there for a couple of seconds, and he thought about it. And we're all diving into the pasta,
Right.
and he's like, okay, I'll take some of the fettuccine. And
And
he
now-
ate a couple bites, and then he's running around the restaurant jumping, seeing if he could jump
Just so
further.
everybody knows, he's now training for the Olympics. I'm not kidding. He's,
Because of pasta.
Because of thanks, Grandpa.
As a jumper.
Right?
Yeah,
Exactly.
my dad played all kinds of tricks like that on me as well. And now what's fascinating to me is I want to know how your youngest, Violet, would play those games, because her 5-year-old, she is 5 going on 20.
Precocious is the word that we're using. Yes.
I imagine it's very difficult to fool her.
Yeah. Well, green is like the color we don't do. So
Won't you-
she just gets real sketchy about green stuff. She's like, not really interested
Okay.
in it. But
All right.
we do a little reverse psychology. Oh, I bet you can't eat that. You know.
Does she
"Ooh,
fall
you don't
for
want
that? Because she seems way too advanced for that.
Does. So
Okay.
we try it as often as we can. But you
Very
think
good.
back to Popeye and spinach. I mean.
Oh, yeah.
It's just the way it is.
Yeah,
so.
he has muscles. He can beat up the Brutus and the bad guys.
All the spinach. Yuck, 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 yuck.
All right, straight ahead on what's new. Many people are trying to avoid shaking hands. That, of course, is due to fears of the coronavirus. So we tasked Mike Polk to come up with some safe alternatives. Can't wait for that.
Yeah, and also out on the roadways, Michael's going to be keeping an eye on things. But we are first going to be talking about White Claw. They have 3 new flavors that are coming out. And we have that news to share with you. Okay, now Michael can talk about the traffic. Sorry, Michael.
No, we got to give White Claw its time.
I can't
I'm a
believe
huge
Betsy flew
fan.
past
Yeah, but unfortunately, White Claw and traffic not the good
Right.
go together
Those
story.
don't go together
Yeah,
very well
separate.
at all. But yeah, out on the roadways, you're looking live at 76 at 21, and you'll notice if you look very closely, roadways are certainly wet. Seen a couple of snowflakes dancing around the area, but again, I think that the bark is worse than the bite. Notice that in parts of Medina County, this is right along 271 at 71. Again, no accumulations, that's the good news, but again, it'll be a wet go of things as you're driving home from work and starting off your weekend. Your full forecast, which includes 60s and sunshine, coming up right after this.
Welcome back to What's New. Fears of the coronavirus may have people rethinking the normal greeting. It's a handshake, of course, but you can spread germs that way. We're asking viewers, have you completely stopped shaking hands here in this flu and coronavirus season? WKYC.com/vote now to weigh in. I haven't completely cut it out, but I'm starting to think twice about it. A lot of fist bumps. A lot of
fist
head
bumps
nods.
will still do the transmission. I'm a hugger, so that's my problem. I'm all like, hey, bring it in.
Yeah, you're all in on
and
that
now I'm
virus.
like, okay, hi. You know, I'm not quite sure how that's going to go down, but obviously everybody's very concerned about it. So if you're greeting people and you feel obligated to shake hands, what do, right? There's kind of like that awkward moment. So who better to send into an awkward situation than Mike Polk, who did some very hard investigative reporting for us, and he joins us live from Wizard World Comic Con at the Convention Center. Hi there, Mike.
Hi. First of all, I licked everything on both of your desks. Just so you know, it's all ruined.
Thank you.
And I like how we're having this health scare. So you're like, let's send Polk down
Exactly.
to a convocation center with 10,000 people at it. I'm touching everyone here. But this is fun, and I'll tell you, you really haven't lived until you've gone through the security at one of these sort of Wizard World situations and saw 6 Darth Vaders getting patted down to make sure they didn't have any weapons on them.
Hey, Spider-Man.
It's a real carnival of souls down here. And I wanted to keep people safe if they were going to be headed down here or anywhere. You're right, the handshake's kind of out of favor right now. People aren't supposed to be touching that much. So we wanted to offer some people some other solutions, some other possible ways of greeting each other that don't involve shaking hands.
Okay.
Take a look. So, there's some options right there. I'm going to wander around, find some more friends here, and hang out a little bit. Can you give me some props and at least admit that was a really well-executed Three Amigos, you guys?
I thought it was great.
I love the Three Amigos. That's a good one. I'm a jazz hands person myself.
Jazz
right
hands
now.
was great. The Funny Uncle was good too.
That was.
The
We'll
Funny Uncle
forget
was
about
very
those.
good.
All right,
Yeah.
well, I'll catch up with you guys in a little bit.
Yeah, try those greetings out at some of the what you call the Carnival of Souls out there, and let us know how that works out for you.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. We'll do. Making friends.
Thanks,
friends,
Mike.
you
We'll
guys.
talk to you in just a little bit.
He makes friends wherever he goes.
He does, and I have to, kind of put out there, everybody, you can always nod. Just remember, up for acknowledgement, down for respect, right?
Perhaps a little wink as well.
Wow.
Yeah, a little wink in
running
there.
around winking at everybody?
That's true.
I mean,
It's germ-free.
you became very popular very fast.
This is very true. Oh my gosh, that would be hysterical. You know what? It's also going to be really popular this weekend. Sunshine and 60s. How does
love
that
that.
sound?
We love
Oh
it.
my gosh,
We
you're
are
going
going
to
to hit 60s for sure.
I think we're going to get
lot
really
of us.
close to it. Yes,
lot of us
Sunday,
will.
Monday. It's
Lakeshore
looking
might
good.
get a little lake breeze, but Michael's going to talk more about the whole forecast.
Yeah, it should
Get
be
us there.
really interesting. Yeah, Jay, let me break it down for you and show you exactly what we're talking about. So, heading out tonight, not the best night here in Northeast Ohio. In fact, you're looking live at I-90 at State Route 86. This is toward Concord and Leroy Township. Temperatures outside in the 30s, but the good news out of this is that we're not seeing a ton of that snow that you're seeing out there sticking to the pavement. So although the pavement will be wet, I don't think that it'll be all that slushy, and certainly we're not expecting any icing to occur just yet. So temperatures through this evening falling through the 30s. I think that will eventually bottom out in the upper 20s overnight. Here's what radar looks like. If you look at your TV set, we're zero in on a couple of areas of interest. You'll notice that parts of Lorain County through Medina County, northern parts of Worcester and Wayne County, seeing some snowflakes outside. Let's zero in on the west end of Akron, and I want to overlay a camera on here for you. This is 96 at 277. And again, what you're seeing, a lot of wet spots. So take it easy, no need to rush whatsoever. But if you're going to be driving down 71 over toward Medina into 224, again, it'll certainly be a wet go of things. Same sort of story for my friends up toward Lake County and northern Geauga. I think that at times as temperatures fall, perhaps you might notice a light accumulation, but again, nothing really to write home to mom about. This is a part of a much larger system, by the way. This was our Alberta Clipper that moved on through. Thank goodness it's moving out of the area overnight tonight and through the day tomorrow. So here's that area of low pressure. It's out of here overnight tonight into early tomorrow. High pressure rolls in on Saturday. That'll help to keep us sunny, but we're still cool. And then by Sunday, here's what you really want to see. Notice that we'll be under the influence of a nice return flow or a southerly flow. That is going to help to propel temperatures within perhaps a degree, if not at 60 degrees. So lots to look forward to there. Again, things wind down overnight. That sets the stage for a decent looking day tomorrow. Your Universal Windows Direct full 7 day showing you right there, Jay, as we spring forward Sunday, we'll also spring into the 60s, Betsy, on Sunday and on Monday. So looking good in the neighborhood. You're welcome on behalf of Betsy and I, by the way.
Jay looks like he just got $1,000 handed to him.
I did, and I want to give you a little heads up. I may be feeling under the weather on Monday. I might not be here. Just might have a little.
Just make sure you take to social media to tell everybody about it. The heartwarming way, speaking of social media, that LeBron James and his family like to boogie.
And look at the little one.
You will not want to miss it.
She got the moves.
Go, girl.
All right, we do it every day at this time. We check on what Clevelanders are clicking on. Normally, Stephanie Haney is here. Right. Stephanie feeling a little under the weather. Steph, we're thinking about you. Get well soon. So here we go. We're going to try our hand at clicking in Cleveland.
We'll try, and it's just in time for spring. The makers of White Claw are unveiling 3 new flavors. Are you ready, ladies and gentlemen? Tangerine, watermelon, and lemon will be available in multi-packs with one of the company's most popular flavors, mango. The company says tens of thousands of passionate fans have weighed in on social media requesting these new flavors. They listened, and so we all get to say cheers.
Yeah, and they're available as singles, or you can get them in 12-can variety packs, which is nice.
I'm all about Team Watermelon.
Team Watermelon is me too. Love this video. It's been clicking all day for us here on WKYC.com. LeBron and Savannah James have teamed up with their kids, Bronny, Bryce, and that's Yuri, the little one up front. And I'm telling you, this kid has the moves. Now, this is Hit the Wall. I don't know if you're familiar with that yet. Your kids certainly are. It's raging on TikTok. It's a remix of MC Hammer's Can't Touch This.
Oh.
And the dance is just sweeping the nation, and I don't think anyone does it as well as little Yuri. Look at her up there. Boom! Yeah. With flair.
She has a little sauce to it.
I love her move. She's got the gene.
She does. And just so you know, TikTok, we have our own WKYC TikTok account.
Yeah.
I don't know what's on there. But
Betsy doing Hit the Woo is on there.
Oh, you day. All right. And by the way, it is the Lenten season, and if you are up for a fish fry, and who is not during the Lenten season, we here on the What's New team are ready to make sure you can find the best fish fries in the land. So check out our fish fry guide at WKYC.com/fishfry for a map of locations near you. You can try a new one every Friday during the Lenten season.
Well, we have enough of them up there.
No doubt.
You're a big fish fry girl, huh?
I love fish fries,
Okay.
especially if they're homemade pierogies. If they're homemade pierogies, I'll be there.
You know, I don't eat seafood.
Oh. Well, they have all kinds of stuff. The macaroni and cheese is usually pretty good, too.
I'm a big
Just
fan
saying.
of macaroni and cheese.
Ahead on What's New, everybody, 10 area clergy are in self-quarantine after returning from Italy. We've been following this story very closely. We'll have all the details for you next.
Plus, Mike Polk's still out at Wizard World. He'll give us a little flavor from this year's event and find out why it brings out so many people every year.
Plus, it is Fashion Friday, and we're focusing on the dress today. What's in and what's new in the world of dresses when we come right back.
And now, live from WKYC Studios, This is What's New with Betsy Kling and Jay Crawford.
Welcome back, everybody. It is indeed Friday. I'm Betsy Kling along with Jay Crawford, and we're going to get the 5:30 half hour started with a really cool image. Check this out. Absolutely epic photo of lightning over an erupting volcano in Chile. Not only made its round on social media, it just won the first ever perfect moment photo contest. Obviously, the competition judges were completely wowed. And the contest isn't just for bragging rights, although that's a big part of it. Photographer Francisco Negroni also won a cool $2,000, a special metal print of his photo, and all kinds of photography gear.
You know, I hate to put you on the spot, but I know you're going to be able to answer this.
We've talked about this before.
But I've never seen it quite so dramatic.
So,
is it because of the heat coming out of the volcano?
It's the volatility of all of the stuff coming out of the volcano. So lightning is basically a charge. It's an electrical charge.
Right.
When you scuffle your feet across the carpet.
Oh, I've
and
done
then
that.
you used to buzz your brother or
Yeah,
sister,
right.
right? Shock them. That's an electrical charge building up. You think of ash and rock and all the air that is charged and moving into the atmosphere. It's all rubbing together. All those electrical charges start to connect together.
It makes a beautiful picture. Russ Mitchell's working on what matters most. That comes your way at 6 o'clock. He's in the newsroom right now at his desk, ready to give us the top headlines at the bottom of the hour. Hi, Russ.
Jay and Betsy, good afternoon. Good afternoon once again to you at home. The president has signed that $8.3 billion coronavirus response bill. The bill will fund the development of vaccines, medications to test the disease, diagnostic tests, and it will help state and local governments. The measure overwhelmingly passed the House and Senate earlier this week. The Vatican has its first confirmed case of coronavirus. A health clinic inside Vatican City was closed for sanitizing following a positive test result of an infected priest. Meanwhile, Italian media is reporting the Pope has tested negative for coronavirus and is recovering from a simple cold. And Democratic presidential hopeful Joe Biden is coming to Cleveland. He'll be here Tuesday, but details of that visit have not been announced. The former vice president will also be in Columbus that day. The Ohio primary is a week later, March 17th. And of course, over the next few months, we're going to see these candidates back and forth throughout Cleveland, Columbus, Cincinnati, all over the state, trying to get your vote.
Yes, we will. March 17th, the big day. Russ, thanks. We appreciate it. A couple other stories we're following right now. This just into us here at 3 News. We have learned that South by Southwest, the tech, film, and music festival, hugely popular, held every year in Austin, Texas, has been canceled due to fears over the coronavirus.
And locally, get this, the Justin Bieber concert at First Energy Stadium has been rescheduled. It will now be at Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse on Friday, August 14th. If you bought a ticket, again, this is for the Justin Bieber concert, for the First Energy show, you'll get a refund. Pre-sale tickets, you got to go through the whole ticket buying thing all over again. Pre-sale tickets will go on sale March 10th. That is going to be a big deal for a lot of people.
It's also called over-speculation. They thought they could fill First Energy.
That's right. I wonder if that's a part of it.
Well, the ticket sales were not going well.
Interesting.
So after further review, we're going to move this to a smaller house.
But it's because of the coronavirus.
Well, it'll be more
which is not even
intimate.
in Ohio
yet. Hopefully it won't make it here. Okay, Drew Horansky is with us for our Top Talker this half hour. Drew, we know that the Pope tested for the coronavirus negative.
Right.
But the Vatican, now we have learned, does have its first case. And we've also learned that here in Ohio, although we have no positive tests to date, there are a number of people self-quarantining themselves after returning from Italy. What more can you tell us?
Well, this is affecting the local church in a different way. There was a John Carroll group that included 44 people, faculty, students, and seminarians from Borromeo Seminary in Wycliffe. We were told that they returned last night, got their things, and they are now here at home. The Lake County Health District will be keeping an eye on them. Now, important to note here, nobody showed any symptoms of illness. They were in Rome and Sicily, so not the northern part of the country that we've been hearing so much about. They are following CDC guidelines, and this is one of those abundance of caution kind of things, but there was a group of 44 people. It was a study abroad program through John Carroll, including those 10 seminarians who were able to come back last night, get their things, have their rooms now scrubbed, disinfected, cleaned, and everybody's at home.
Well,
now
there's
for
so
the
much
next 2 weeks.
concern and focus on where groups of people will be gathering when it comes to this coronavirus.
So true.
So what about churches on Sunday? Is there any word about that?
Yeah, well, so earlier this week, the Diocese of Cleveland put out a warning, just some guidelines to follow. We're not quite as strict as what you're seeing elsewhere in the country. Some places are saying, don't share wine, don't shake hands. Here, they're telling you just to stay home if you are sick. Don't come in. It's not a sin to miss Mass if you are sick. The Episcopalian bishop, also put out some words to go by and consider, things like putting out hand sanitizer in obvious places and telling people their advice is to give a gaze to somebody else. Gaze.
Yeah.
Don't shake hands. Don't.
It's a big part of the
Elbow bump.
Catholic Mass, the offering of peace.
Well, he
Right.
brought up
Shake
that
hands.
the elbow bump would be kind of, maybe not the best thing to do in church. So the sort of thoughtful gaze.
I've done
Up
that
for
before.
acknowledgement, down for respect.
Yeah, I've been to church and I'm not feeling well and I don't want to shake hands and and everybody it's unwritten, it's unspoken. You just look at them and you give
Depends
them a nod.
how you gaze, though, right? I mean, you can get one of those gazes that makes you think something's on your face or you somehow been out of turn.
All right, and the health of the Pope. It's good.
It's good. It is not coronavirus. We don't know too much about this person who does have coronavirus inside the Vatican. But of course, the Pope's health a very big issue. He missed a retreat this week that he has been going to every single year. And actually, little known fact, earlier on in his life, in his early 20s, due to an illness, he had part of his lung removed. So anything that deals with his health and well-being and flu, they have to take it particularly seriously.
We saw him coughing heavily last week.
That's right.
Glad he's in the clear.
Yep.
Okay, Drew, thanks.
Thank you so much for that. Well, everybody, a difficult goodbye for Grays fans. Royals in the rain, and Lizzo has a beef with TikTok.
Plus, Demi Lovato's powerful message. Danielle Serino has it all in today's Pop Break.
Grey's Anatomy said goodbye to a popular character last night, and fans weren't exactly on board with the exit. No spoilers in case you haven't seen it yet, but Justin Chambers, who has played Dr. Alex Karev the last 16 seasons, only appears in the episode in a voiceover. But that doesn't make his departure any less emotional. Have a box of tissues ready. Social media says it looks like something from a fairy tale rom-com. Pic of Meghan and Harry in the rain is getting some serious online attention. And their night just got better during a London event honoring veterans when one of the award recipients got down on one knee on the stage to pop the question to his longtime girlfriend. The crowd, including front row audience members Meghan and Harry, burst into cheers. Our girl Lizzo is not down with fat shaming, even when it's done by an app. The body empowerment advocate and singer says that TikTok, the popular video streaming app, has taken down several of her videos in which she's wearing a swimsuit. Don't worry, Lizzo. We got your back. And speaking of body empowerment, Demi Lovato is all about loving herself and moving forward. The singer and actress released a new single called I Love Me last night, along with a video where she's fighting negative thoughts and the voices in her head, literally. The video also doesn't shy away from addressing some of her past, including Camp Rock, her drug overdose, and ex Wilmer Valderrama's new engagement. The video has already been watched more than 3 million times. You go, Demi.
Yeah. Well, Demi's been very public with her struggles, and I'm applauding her for doing that because I do think that it sheds light on if she can deal with these issues and she can make it through, then it can inspire a lot of other people that are feeling very similarly. And kudos to you, Demi, for being so open and honest about your issues.
And I just want to
good.
clarify something that was said earlier about the Justin Bieber concert. That has nothing to do with the coronavirus. That's solely on ticket sales. So no First Energy Stadium concert, but there will be a concert that will be held at Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse in August. You'll get a refund from the First Energy, and you'll have to buy again for new tickets.
Yes, you will. A live look at Wizard World, the big Comic-Con in Cleveland this weekend. Mike Polk is back next. He's hanging out with his peeps. That's what he's doing today.
He definitely
And
is.
he's going to tell us why fans just keep coming back for this big event.
Oh, my goodness. Well, Michael, obviously weather is a very big part of our weekend plans.
Yeah, you're looking live outside in Mayfield Heights, just under 19,000 people, by the way, in terms of population. And if you look at the roadways, by the way, they are wet. There is a little bit of snow in the medians. We'll talk about how that'll impact your travel tonight. And of course, we have 60s in store this weekend. So say goodbye to the 30s. More on that coming up.
Awesome. Well, it is pop quiz time. Which country was the first to officially adopt daylight saving time? Was it the U.S., was it Germany, or was it Japan? We'll have the answer for you on the flip. All right, everybody, here's the answer now to our pop quiz question. Which country was first to officially adopt daylight saving time? Was it Germany? Well, I'm sorry, it was Germany. I'll just go ahead and answer it for you. It was Germany. Benjamin Franklin came up with the idea in the late 1700s, but Germany was the first one to put it into nationwide policy in 1916 to save coal during World War I.
Yeah. Interesting. Now we're thinking about getting rid of it.
Yeah, I know.
Which I would vote for.
I would too.
Yeah,
I'm
all
all
for it.
about that.
Okay, Wizard World hits the Huntington Convention Center this weekend. In fact, it's open now. It's underway. And this year it is all about animation. That's the theme.
So who are we going to send to go do that? Obviously, Mike Polk. He's one of the most animated guys that we know. So, Mike, let's get into this. What about animation can you tell us?
I haven't really perused all of the wares just yet, but I have been overcome by all of the sights and sounds of Wizard World. Lots of costume people, lots of tables where you can buy collectibles and souvenirs. People get really into this. This is like a really big deal now, and there are a surprising amount of people here. I'm making all kinds of friends. Hi, ladies. We had a thing happen over there. I don't want to go into it, but I did have something cool happen. It's a long story. I don't want to go into it. But over here, I did find something that I really enjoy. Check this out, you guys. I finally found my perfect audience. I found people who will laugh at my jokes. Just check it out. Watch this. All right, here we go, guys. Hey, why do stormtroopers make the best pilots? What? They never hit anything. They're very bad at shooting things. Why was the stormtrooper always lonely, you guys? Why? Because he always missed everyone.
You're laying them dead there, Mike. That's slaying them. Woo,
hey, you guys. I'm gonna be taking my driver's exam in a full stormtrooper outfit. Do you want to know why, guys?
Why?
Because I don't want to hit anything. You guys are a blast. Thanks a lot, you knuckleheads. So sorry you lost. Oh my gosh. There is so much to see and do down here. Thanks, gentlemen. And I really do recommend, if you're into this sort of thing, I gotta tell you, this is one of my first experiences at a place like this. But it's a lot of fun. And there's a lot, look, there's the Captain America coming in there. He made that at home. You can tell. Everybody's just having some fun.
He dropped $5 on that whole thing.
All right. And we got this guy. What are you, young man?
Goku.
Oh, he's a go-go-poo, obviously. All right, I think we've pretty much covered everything. Thank you, go-go-poo. And yeah, and so if you had anybody has any other questions or anything, you can come down to Wizard World and find out all the answers for yourself.
Those aren't exactly your kind of peeps. I'm just going to go out on a limb and say it.
Not at all. I think it's very charming. I do. There's a lot of families having nice times down here and stuff. It's just all very new to me.
Why didn't you go in a costume? I mean, I came as a successful local TV journalist, hard-hitting reporter. Now I get it.
Yeah, that was my look.
Well, you hit
They
the
want a
mark
big
on your
pretzel or
look.
anything when I come back?
I feel like he's holding back. I feel like there's just something that's just not communicating.
He's giving us all he got.
It's great. It's a lot of fun.
I think the issue there is that everybody's kind of on edge with the coronavirus.
We got the hard rap.
I think that's what's going on there.
So.
Wow. You going there this weekend at all?
I'm not going there.
I'm not either.
Unfortunately.
It just missed the cut for me.
Not where we're going
Not going.
either. But let's turn the tide, shall we?
Absolutely.
Michael, what's going on with the weather forecast? Please bail us out of this awkwardness.
Oh my gosh, Mike Polk, that was hilarious. And I think his name was Goku, by the way. That's who he was talking to.
Are you going to Comic-Con this weekend?
You know what, to be honest with you, you guys know I'm a huge geek at heart, and I have definitely done a Comic-Con before, and it was a lot of fun.
Okay.
People really get into it.
All right,
but you know what,
cool.
this weekend, though, for me, with 60s in the forecast, you might just see me out, of course, perhaps at Edgewater, especially on Sunday. It'll be a great day for it. A lot of folks wondering, all right, spring is just around the corner, right about 13 days away officially. However, of course, as you know, opening day for our Cleveland Indians is in about 20 days, and so maybe the unofficial start to spring by that point, but let's be realistic, in Northeast Ohio, it's really not until like June, right? Either way, we're falling through the 30s overnight. We'll bottom out in the 20s with scattered snow showers. We're tracking that on live radar for you right now, especially in parts of Medina. Notice that from Strongsville down toward Chippewa, we're seeing some light and perhaps even at times some embedded moderate flakes. Here's the thing, though. Temperatures outside hovering right around that freezing point, so we're not expecting a ton of this to stick to the roadways. But because we're looking at rapid melting of that snow on the roadways, they will at times be wet. So please make sure that you're giving yourself plenty of time. From Medina over toward Chippewa Lake, our friends in Chatham up towards Litchfield. For our friends perhaps driving along 422, same sort of story for you. This is all a part of a much larger system. This, of course, was our Alberta Clipper that we were tracking yesterday that swooped on in, and it's slowly going to be pressing off toward the east, so it'll be with us through the late evening, and then I think that things should begin to dissipate during the overnight hours and then through early tomorrow morning. So tonight we're calling for that rain-snow mix ending, and then by tomorrow, high pressure rolls on in. It'll clear out the clouds. We'll call it mostly sunny and cool, given the fact that on the eastern end of that high pressure center, we'll see that northerly flow of air. So another cool but sunny day tomorrow. We're on the back end of that high on Sunday. That is going to warm temperatures quick and in a hurry. I think a couple of spots will hit that 60-degree reading to wrap up your weekend. Something for you to look forward to. Here's what the forecast looks like through midnight tonight. Again, notice the dissipating rain and snow mix. I think that by first thing tomorrow, it's a chilly start. Tomorrow afternoon, though, enjoy the sunshine. Sunday looking phenomenal as we roll the clocks forward an hour. Monday looking great before more rain Tuesday and on Wednesday. Back with more after this.
All right, you can feel the buzz in the studio here. That's because it's Fashion Friday, which just so happens, this was a coincidence, folks, we didn't plan this, it's also National Dress Day, so sorry guys, but we're only talking dresses today.
Right, and as a tradition on Fashion Friday, we welcome back the fabulous Hallie Abrams. You just blew me away with this whole idea of you pack for other people's vacations. That's stunning to me, but
It
we
is
have
mind-blowing and wonderful, but we'll talk about dresses
We
today.
will talk about dresses for sure, obviously. So dresses coming out in the spring, is there any one thing you gotta have?
So I'd say there's 3 things you gotta have.
Okay, even better.
Okay, so the first is sort of what I'm wearing, this idea of a baby doll dress or tiered dresses. That's one of the trends that's really big. Sometimes they're shorter, sometimes they're longer. They're super voluminous. They're great for however many margaritas you want to have.
Exactly.
Nobody can tell. And they're also great because they're sort of air conditioning built in. But you'll see a lot of that. It sort of started last year at the Oscars in 19, and then, it's these big tiers. So
I've seen them with maxi dresses,
Yes.
so now the hemlines are coming up with it.
sometimes they're baby doll and shorter, but I went for the in-between.
All right, so tiered dresses,
Tiered
that's a good one. What's another one?
The next one is shirt dresses or wrap dresses.
And we have Hope
is
coming
doing
out.
that. Yeah. And they're great because that's something you could wear now and you can wear it into the spring. Another trend she's showing is neon. So color-wise, that's really big.
It's the 80s vibe coming in.
It is the 80s vibe coming.
It's terrifying.
Yes.
It
But
all comes
awesome
back.
at the same time. I know.
It
Hope you
all
look gorgeous.
circulates,
Is
yes.
it comfortable?
So comfortable.
Oh, good.
Very nice.
Okay, so shirt
It's
dresses.
cute. Whenever Hope gets something, she's like, I want these. I want to
know.
buy it.
I know.
Whatever we pick out.
She
It's
does.
great.
All right, and we have Chrissy coming up
And then we have
with
Chrissy
trend
coming
number
up.
3.
Yes, trend number 3 is like a bold, puffy shoulder. So
Shoulders
again,
are a huge deal.
Shoulders are huge.
Again, 80s.
80s, right? Exactly.
Shoulder
exactly.
pads.
So this one's great. It has sort of a pleated short sleeve. You'll
So
see
cute.
longer 3/4, but that's whether it's your shirt, whether it's your dress. That's a great way to sort of have something feel fresh and new for spring.
So that one's 2 out of 3 because you get the neon pink.
Exactly.
And the cool shoulder.
You got it.
I'm learning.
Exactly.
Every
You
time
are.
you come, I learn something else. Is there any previews on summer yet?
Spring and summer, I like to look at seasons sort of like fall, winter, spring, summer.
Okay.
And so spring and summer, I think my blog this week is actually on that. There are like 8 main trends that I'm talking about.
Okay.
Some of it has to do with 3 that we discussed. A sherbety color, that's another sort of that mint green. Square-toed shoes that I'm wearing today.
Yeah, those are
so
cute.
again, it used to be pointy, and it's not that pointy are out, but the square toe is definitely like starting on the scene.
Another one I can't believe it's
I know,
coming back.
right? It
All right,
all
so
circulates.
packing for people's trips. What's like the
How much time
I'm
do we
so
have to talk?
fascinated by this. Like literally, she packs people's bags for them to go on vacation.
You go to their house and you pack their
Well,
bags?
we
It's
go
so
through the
stressful.
itinerary, right,
Okay.
of where they're going, and we say, okay, what are you going to wear this day? Okay, now can you wear this again? You can wear it day 2, and you can wear it day 4, and then that way they know, and they have visual. We take pictures, and
That's
then
a
that way
great
it's all.
idea.
And you can do that yourself, right?
Right,
Like try the
sure.
outfits on, take a mirror selfie, and. But if you want, I can come. I mean, it is my
Obviously,
business.
wardrobe consultant, of
Right,
course. How do
right.
people get a hold of you?
TheWardrobeConsultant.com and The Wardrobe Consultant on Instagram.
It's so great to have you
Yeah,
here.
thank you for
and
having
our
me.
own personal resource. Packing
Anytime.
for vacation.
I learned so much here in this.
Yes, I
in
can
this-
tell you
We're
do.
going to have to do a mail. Like
There's
a
no
segment
pop
for
quiz
guys,
on this,
right?
though, is there?
No, it's not the SATs. You will
Okay,
not fail.
good.
Thank
All right,
goodness.
coming up, it's the most unlikely assist you will ever see in a basketball game. Seriously, it's our worth the watch. You got to see it. It's next.
It's setting up to do the same, though on-site hospital testing is likely several weeks away. This means for the time being, it's...
Yes, sir, I do. Testing 1, 2, 3, 4. Hello.
All right, our Worth the Watch today comes by way of hardwood.
Wait.
Hardwood.
We have to talk about this.
Oh.
We have to talk about the shaking hands thing. Remember, are you done shaking hands? You are, aren't you? After all this talk,
I don't know. I just, just sanitize, wash your hands, do the whole thing.
Well, the thing is, like, even if you use the hand sanitizer, and I have been 20 times a day, once you grab someone else's hands, you know the deal. Their germs come off on yours.
Well, my thing though, like you go to the grocery store, you pick something up, you look at it. I don't want that.
Yeah.
You put it down.
Transferring
your
germs.
germs are there.
Yes,
your
they are.
germs are everywhere.
They are.
And
Yeah.
I think it's just being aware. I think we should do a story on how many things you touch through the day.
Oh, it'd be in
Do
the
you know what I
thousands.
mean?
Yeah.
And so how do you combat that? Now, I will say this. Michael Estime is a bit of a germaphobe. I'm going to totally tell everybody, Michael.
Okay.
We talked about this earlier. He is in heaven because everybody else is now germophobic. And so he's like, everybody's doing the same thing that I'm doing.
He doesn't have to worry and obsess as much about it. Anyhow, 2/3 of you say, no, you haven't completely given up on shaking hands.
Yet.
Midwest nice.
Right.
It's a real thing. We shake hands, we greet people, that's what we do.
There's
here.
other ways to say hello. We'll get to that.
Yes.
We'll do that. All right, well, now.
Worth the watch.
Here we go, back to the hardwood.
Yeah, I want to take you to last night in Charlotte. Keep an eye on the back of number 11. He's wearing blue. He plays for the Hornets. His name is Cody Martin.
Hey.
The inbounds player, Denver's Will Barton, throws the ball off his rear end.
Yep.
Now the ball's in and it's live, and
Perfect.
he grabs it and he dunks it. And wouldn't you know that the Nuggets ended up winning by 2 points,
Right.
and it was these 2 points.
Have you ever, you played basketball. Have you ever tried to change possession by bouncing it off somebody's feet?
A million times. Yeah, you're falling out of bounds. Throw it off somebody, but that right there, that's using your head.
Smarty
That's why
pants.
Denver won.
All right. Well, thank you so much for watching What's New.
Have a great weekend. What Matters Most with Russ starts now.
Tonight, coronavirus testing. How the process will now work here in Ohio as the state reaches a major milestone. Plus, quarantine and cleaning. 10 seminarians just back from Italy. What's being done to protect parishioners? Nexus money shortfall. Why schools in one county will only get around half of what they expected. And family tradition. How an annual fundraiser is taking on a new meaning for a father-daughter duo.
From the WKYC studios, this is What Matters Most.
We begin once again with the coronavirus as cases are rising tonight, up to at least 272 across the U.S., with new cases in Pennsylvania and Indiana. Still no cases in Ohio, but 2 remain under observation. In the meantime, more than 100,000 worldwide have been infected and 3,400 have died. And moments ago, the organizers of the giant South by Southwest Festival in Austin canceled the event because of coronavirus fears. And good evening. Sarah is out tonight. I'm Russ Mitchell. Here in Ohio, testing for the virus is about to get a lot easier. Mark Nemick explains and tells us what it means in the fight against the illness.
Until now, testing someone in Ohio for the virus meant sending their samples to the Centers for Disease Control. But shipping time and growing backlogs delayed results. With a testing kit from the federal government in hand, the Ohio Department of Health says it will get results sooner, possibly within 2 days. The faster turnaround, says Ohio Health Director Dr. Amy Acton, will help officials target responses more quickly, which is critical if Ohio experiences an outbreak.
This is a long haul. Again, a lot like H1N1, if we want to call the most close thing that we've dealt with.
The state still faces challenges with testing. Its kit only has the capacity to test about 300 to 400 people, which means health departments will have to prioritize who gets tested first, based on federal guidelines. Also, it could be weeks before some local hospitals are equipped to perform their own tests. They already collect samples from people suspected to have the virus and send those to the CDC. The first test distributed by the federal government to Ohio and other states didn't work, which has contributed to a national bottleneck of testing. Ohio expects to be ready with its test kit by Monday. The state's top doctor continues to stress that the virus is not a cause for panic, and she encourages people to help those most vulnerable to the virus, such as the elderly.
This is not a time to be afraid. This is a time to help each other.
Hospitals could also play a key role in testing for the virus if they follow certain federal guidelines and have certifications. The Cleveland Clinic tells 3 News it's preparing to do its own testing, and University Hospital says they are setting up to do the same. Though on-site hospital testing is likely several weeks away, this means, Russ, that in the meantime, it's all on the state.
And again, this is a big deal, the fact that these tests are going to be here now.
It's going to help get us answers quicker.
All right, Mark, thank you very much. Another wave of students has returned from Italy in a group that includes 10 seminarians. As Andrew Horansky tells us, churches are also taking steps to stop the spread of coronavirus.
Borromeo Seminary in Wycliffe is being cleaned and disinfected tonight after 10 seminarians and a faculty priest returned yesterday from Italy. They were part of a study abroad program through John Carroll and will self-quarantine for the next 14 days at home, monitored by the Lake County Health District. It's been a week under the weather for the Catholic Church, with the Pope coughing several times during a brief address on Sunday. And though it was just a cold on Thursday, the Vatican confirmed its first case of coronavirus. While back in the U.S., some churches enacted swift changes, banning parishioners from sharing wine.
Let us offer each other a sign of peace.
Refraining from shaking hands or even hugging during the sign of peace. The Diocese of Cleveland urging those who are sick to just stay home. Guidelines were also issued by the Bishop of Ohio's Episcopal Diocese, who recommended hand sanitizer in obvious places and gazing instead of shaking hands. Worshippers agreeing precautions make sense.
It's not an emergency yet, but we should think about it.
It's not going to change anything as far as how we feel spiritually, and I don't think we're missing out on anything.
Those seminarians were part of a John Carroll group